are the market conditions different now than what it was when Bait was created? And if so, what do you think is better or worse?
Listen, I remember going to meetings with and selling, going out to meet with prospective employers to have them subscribe to our services in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002, even as far as the mid 2000s. And I'm talking about markets like Dubai and Saudi. Forget the smaller markets where IT infrastructure was far better than the smaller countries in the region, whether it's even in the GCC and the Levant and North Africa. So, I'm in a meeting in Dubai or in Saudi, and I'm trying to demo the product online. And, I'd click a tab and I'd turn around and speak for a few minutes while the page loaded. That was how I did a demo. It would take an hour. Now, the good thing about it is you'd get to know your customer because you have so much time to speak and get to know them as people, their business, their needs, so that you can serve those very specific things and localize your solution. So it was actually enjoyable as well. And I met a lot of wonderful people, in the decade that I did that, and I went out and saw customers. But boy, was it frustrating. I mean, I'd come back home sometimes, pulling my hair out and just wanting to cry. It's like click, and you'd have to wait. So from an IT infrastructure perspective, it was I'm trying to use not such a negative word. It was pathetic. Mm-hmm. And then internet penetration was a joke. There really wasn't much of an online community, growing very, very quickly, but still from a very small base to very small numbers nominally. And then the investor community was just not there. I mean, the angel community wasn't there, and the VC community certainly wasn't there, and even the angel community, I beg your pardon, were, and still, it's changed a lot with a few success stories, and particularly the global success stories, and even more so the local success stories of internet companies. But investors in this part of the world, they still like the building. They still like the physical asset. They still like the hard asset. Tech companies don't have any assets. It's a low asset, low capital intensive, people heavy business. So it's a far better place. I think the last thing is when we also launched in the early 2000s, there were very few other online properties. I mean, you'd have to go to a US site. You'd have to go to Yahoo or CNN or, that's news. For whatever you wanted, your content was being served to you by the West. There was nothing locally that was interesting. And why does that affect you? Because people didn't care about the internet, because why should I go on? There's just nothing that's relevant to me. So there's a job site. Yeah, okay, so I can find a job. That's pretty important. But, beyond that, you need that critical mass. And I think now, today, there's a lot of stuff going on online. There's a lot of content, and it's only gonna get better. So yeah, you can't compare today to 12 years ago or 10 years ago.